waiting for the first moment when things are just right, then you can talk. You'll be waiting a long time. Waiting for the perfect moment to express yourself doesn't happen. Welcome to my channel. My name is Brenda, and I'm talking about getting real. Real. What does that look like again? I've asked before. I think it's a lifelong quest, finding out what is real. But I'm really going to talk about being in the corner. As you can see, I'm in a corner. I'm visiting somebody and decided I'd take this time to share my thoughts with all of my imperfections exposed as well. Not all, but you know, some. Being vulnerable is very hard at times. It's like, can't get it just right. Is it like try to adjust? Like, is that better? Is my hair okay? I mean, these are silly things for women, and I'm addressing women. Men can listen too. But what about being real and being what you feel like is backed into a corner? I'm literally sitting in a corner right now, and I can feel the support of this wonderful couch I'm sitting on. And I can lean into it and just feel like, oh, nice and safe and secure. Or I can go, oh man, I'm backed into a corner and I can't figure out how to get out. Well, looking at reality, depending on which way you want to see that, will depend on your actions afterwards. So the basis of this channel is to be getting real. Women, in the morning time, how do you really feel? Do you really want to like instantly have perfect hair and your makeup is just perfect before you can step outside to pick up your newspaper? Remember the old days when they used to have newspapers that delivered to your door? Not to be disrespectful, but my sister, very classy, my oldest sister, very classy woman, but she was one of those model types, and she couldn't go outside her door without at least making sure her makeup was on and her lipstick was just right. I'm not quite that way. I'm more of like, hey, I'm going for the didn't comb my hair look. I like that look. I mean, not to be dreadlock style, you know, but is it okay if your hair's not plastic? Is it okay if you just pinned it up for a moment, get it out of your face so you can wash it? Yes, absolutely. So you can wash your face, right? Or whatever else you might want to do. But being kind to yourself and being real, even when things around you may not quite seem so nice. So many things going on that needs to be done. I'm just talking at this moment because that's what I can do to share with you truth. So whether it be glasses that bug you, if you take them off, you won't have the reflections from the light coming on your glasses if somebody else is looking at you. But being real with yourself. Sometimes when you get older, especially, you can't see very well. They say after 40, because your eyes have birthdays, that you need to start wearing glasses, readers, or whatever. And depending on how you've been taking care of your eyes, your nutrition, sleep, etc., that all affects the way you see things. But getting real, sometimes we don't want to see things the way they really are. So there's a song, not to be disrespectful, there's a song that talks about rose-colored glasses, you know, and only seeing things a certain way. But how do you see yourself? Do you see yourself a total mess and never able to pull yourself together? Is that real? No. Is it okay to be messy? Yes. Is it okay to be messy and go to the ball, Cinderella style? Maybe not. I remember one time when I was at this, it was very important gathering in Las Vegas. And we'd been to different workshops as a director of a burn foundation, and we were at different workshops dealing with very serious issues, and all the different directors were there as well from all over the world. And we were just exhausted day and night, day and night, day and night for a whole week. And the very last night was a special event, and you get decked out. I mean, that's when you really put on the pretty, pretty dresses and the fancy shoes, makeup's just right, and you get paraded into this special room, you know, where they're having this delicious food, overpriced, but nevertheless, you know, and so you're gonna meet all these different people and be impressive to the max, as well as hoping people will notice how pretty you are, whatever, right? And so I remember being there, and it was the GM in there in Las Vegas. And it was coming to that time of that night after being a whole week of intense stuff. And people wanted to be on parade, so to speak. And I was thinking, I don't feel like going back to my room and putting makeup on and putting on a fancy dress, which I had, and fancy shoes that hurt your feet. And I thought, you know what, I don't want to. I just don't want to. And so that's part of my personality. It's not like you can't make me, kind of. But in reality, it's like, who was I going to impress? I was by myself. Was I trying to get other people's attention? Was I hoping that somebody would notice and want to go, oh, sweep me up my feet and take me at dancing, you know, that type of thing. And so I remember thinking, because I was very comfortable with what I had on, it was appropriate business attire, good representative of my position, but to go back to my room and put on my gown and put on those owie shoes, it's like, I don't really want to do that. And so, do I have to? No, I don't. So I started walking down the hallway where the event was, and I stopped and I paused for a moment, and I thought, am I okay with how I feel right now? As I'm watching these people parading by me now in these beautiful gowns, and the men are dressed up in tux or special men's stuff, I thought, am I okay with how I am right now? And I kind of inside smiling, going, yeah, I'm all right. So I was real. I was real with myself, because I didn't want to have owie feet. I didn't care, you know, what anybody thought. Not to be disrespectful in any way of what others are doing. But I just decided I'm going to get in line in the parade, not dressed up, and walk comfortably to the event. Had a lovely dinner, met the people I needed to meet, and I left. And I was so happy that I was being real with me. In our society, many people think that you have to be a certain way. You have to be able to get in line. You know, I got in line, you know, but I was being true to myself. And I got in line, and I was able to meet the exact people I was there to meet for that event. The whole purpose of why I went there is that I wanted to talk to a specific person. And because I didn't turn around and go back to my room and change my clothes, I was able to, as I was walking down the way, there was that person right there at that very moment. And I would have missed him if I would have turned back. I probably never found them the rest of the night, because then the lights go out and people are dancing and it's very crowded. So I'm just sharing with you a real story about being real. How are you doing? How are you feeling? Those are all big questions for you and you alone. But are you being real with you today? Because that's all we get. You'll hear me say this over and over again. I'm just doing today because I already did yesterday. So I can't do it over again. And I can't do tomorrow yet because it's not here. So I'm just doing today, being as real as I can. Even though I'm sitting in a corner, no fancy backgrounds. But I'm out of town at somebody else's house, and this is the place where I chose to be, to say hi to you. And then I will see if I get bold enough to even push the button to post. That would be another real moment, huh? Being vulnerable, being real. But that's the best thing to do, because then you're genuine and being true to yourself. And that's what I encourage you to do just for today, just today. Just being true to yourself and being real, with or without makeup, with or without a fancy hairdo or whatever. Our hair's always changing, by the way, so it doesn't matter. I might refer to our hair, our hair, many times on this channel because it's a big deal, right? Thankful we have it. Thankful we have it. Whether you get bald spots, weird cowlicks, lose your hair for sickness, comes back, that's good news. So being real, embracing all of you, from the top of your head to the bottom of your toes. That's all of you. So enjoy your body, enjoy you, as you're being real today. Hope this was helpful. Till next time.